Good morning. It is Saturday, March 15th, 2025, and this video is going to be about our paternal grandmother, Aurora San Miguel Solis. Now, she was born in Candela, Mexico. So, this new chapter in this documentary was brought on by my wonderful cousin who's been helping me with this project, Solis Alejos. So what Cindy sent me after I checked in with her on my progress, she said, "Oh, I never sent you this." And what this is, it's a family tree for on the side of mom and dad. Okay, so let me try to show you this here. So I'm going to show you this and read from a document that was created in 1963 to confirm our grandmother's date of birth. Okay? And what's interesting is this morning I discovered a fascinating fact. So this is from Mexico. Gobierno del Estado de Coahuila de Zaragoza, okay, dated 1963. I'll go over the text in a few moments, but it essentially states that our grandmother was born in 1903. It even talks about the hour she was born, but the Abeba sent this to me in 92, and as you can see right here, it shows that her mother was born in 1905. And this is the unique and the wonderful thing about this type of research is you get all kinds of points of view, dates, and so forth, and I'm just going with the flow, right? So I acquired this Candela Mexico poster online from an artist, and one of the things I'm hoping to do is to add new dimensions to this study, right? So yes, we've covered the old Barrio Azteca, where the tios and the tias were born, where they were raised. The series has Tio Rene and myself going back to the old neighborhood. I was able to locate a 25-year-old video of Tio Ernesto Solis showing the old neighborhood and some of the unique places in a video that I posted. I learned about the video about a month ago. Prima Elda, Tia Carmen, and Chester allowed me to take it last weekend. I took it to have developed Monday. It was ready Thursday, and I mailed it out to Laredo Thursday with a thank you note and some gifts. So I share that with you because the Laredo story is online. I'm not quite finished yet because my goal is to be able to enter those two homes and film the interiors. I have written a neighbor asking him if he could help me make contact with these family members, and I made it clear that I was willing to compensate them for their time and their effort. I'm sure having a stranger go through your home is not an easy gig. So that's the Laredo chapter, right? And when Cindy sent me this family tree, I thought there's really more to the story. And before I go over this, I went online and I found a independent journalist by the name of Ernesto Cifuentes, who covers Candela. I reached out to him about 5 weeks ago and I created a YouTube video for him, and I asked if he could prepare a proposal, and the proposal would be for 10 videos, and I made it very clear what I wanted. I wanted one video going over the town of Candela. And I've seen videos. You can go to YouTube and find videos of Candela. It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. I mean, it is a hidden jewel. Only 1,600 people live there today. And I would love a video about the town. And I also requested a mass in the name of my grandmother Solis and my father to be recorded. And I also asked if other videos could be produced focused on places where our grandmother and siblings may have lived if they're able to pull those documents. Now, what's really incredible is that so I spoke to Mr. Cifuentes. He got the message, he got the video, and what he essentially said was, I've spoken to the tourism board of Candela. They love this idea. They think it's great. So I just need to work on a proposal for you. And I've been waiting about 4 weeks now, and I keep liking all of his stories when he publishes stuff. I know he's following me, but one of the unique parts of this study is that you have to be very patient. And you have to be very patient with other people who are in another country who are extremely busy, because the more you keep pushing them, the higher the cost goes. So the premise of this story is to tell you that there's more to come, right? My father always wanted to go to Candela, Mexico, which when I learned that, I thought, now there's a reason why this is unfolding the way it is. I think my father wanted to show us Candela, Mexico. And that is my goal. What makes it very challenging from a logistical standpoint is that Candela, okay, so here's Laredo, here's Nuevo Laredo. There's one highway, I think it's highway number 1 or highway 83, that takes you from Nuevo Laredo to Candela, Mexico. But in between, or actually close to Candela, 20 minutes away, is Lampazos, where our grandfather Solis was born. So this video is mainly about our paternal grandmother, and also it's meant to inform you that the story continues. It's now international, right? It's international because I'm now talking to a gentleman who's working with the Candela government, essentially, to pull documents. And also, this is the other part of the equation that I think is beautiful. There's bound to be primos, San Miguel primos, who are still there. I know it, I can feel it. So it's exciting to know that we have family members over there who we've never met before. And if it takes us down this road, that would be a wonderful new chapter that all of us could enjoy, that is meeting our family members on the San Miguel side in Candela, Mexico. I bring up the location of this spot because it's a very dangerous area in terms of tourism and people visiting. I mean, I know people who went to Leon recently, and they wouldn't even take Highway 1 and 83 to get there because that specific path is very challenging. There are tour companies that offer tours in Candela, and at some point it'd be fascinating to determine whether an official tour company could maybe offer us a weekend tour of Candela, Mexico. There's a beautiful little hotel there, and that would be a great family outing. But of course, one would have to make sure that getting into Mexico, visiting those areas, this is 2025, and it's been a very challenging year politically. There's a lot of uncertainty on both sides, and this may not happen now, but in a year to 2 years, if the political situation changes in Mexico, where there's less crime in those areas, where we won't run the risk of basically being mugged or dealt with in a very kind way along the highway. I mean, I know people from Mexico that have had everything stolen on a bus from Nuevo Laredo to the state of Coahuila. So that's the challenge for me as a researcher, and that's why by consulting with people in that area, especially journalists and journalists who know government officials, because on this man's website you can tell he knows every government entity because he covers all of these events. So that is my goal right now, is to expand first to Candela, Mexico. Lampazos is next. I suspect that will take a little bit more time. I want to put more resources and time into Candela and do it since I have an existing contact over there. Thank you for your patience with this low budget production. I'm the writer, director, producer, funder, everything, right? And of course, if it wasn't for you allowing me to interview you, we'd be nowhere. So, let me first start by reading this, and I may have read this in another video, but once again, look at this. Was she a beautiful woman or what? Unbelievable. It's in the 20s. What promise. Love it. Okay, this is dated December 24th, 1992. Dear Joey, this is a picture of your grandmother at the age of 27, 28. It is more or less when she married your grandfather. Now, quick note here. This was told in other videos by primos. Our paternal grandmother was married to a gentleman who was involved in some type of law enforcement to prevent smuggling, and I think it was bootlegging. And her husband was murdered, and she had one child, Tia Sofia. Johnny, Tia Primo Juan Solis III, said it was very progressive for our grandmother or for our grandfather to have married a woman with a child. And that's how he met her. He met her when he was making rounds, picking up his insurance payments. He found the San Miguel home, or her grandmother and the daughter, and her daughter, Tia Sofia. And that's how he found out who she is and her family status. So, Aurora San Miguel Solis, 1905, born in Candela, Mexico. And then she talks about her parents, which are on this list. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, your loving Aunt Beba. So, I am so happy to have that picture. Okay, let's next go over the family tree. And again, I'm going to just focus on the maternal side. I'm not going to get into the paternal side right now. So, mom's side. So we have grandmother Aurora Solis at the very bottom. Okay. No, Aurora San Miguel. It doesn't say Solis, of course. There you go. Let me point it out. It's right there. Okay. So these are her parents. Josefa San Miguel and Eusebio San Miguel. And the family members listed above, and well, in the next document, the birth certificate, these names will come back, and they're described and they're outlined in this document. Jose Maria San Miguel, Petra Gonzalez, and then above them would have been Sixto San Miguel. This is such an interesting name. It's spelled Aguedit. I can't make out if that's an N. Tande. Oh, okay. Instead of saying Adelita, I think it's Aguelita. Aguedita. Agilita. Agilita? I'm familiar with Adelita, but this sounds like Angelita. No, Angelita de Hoyos. Okay? So, there you go. So, let's go over this document. Now, I'm gonna try to find a way to scan in these documents and upload them to the web page so you could have access to all these documents, and you're more than welcome to do whatever you want to with these documents. Maybe you might want to do some research and we can upload videos. That's another thing that I wanted to share with you. If you have Solis stories, if you have something you want to share on this channel, I'm the facilitator, but they're your stories. They're our stories, right? So if you reach a point where you say, I would love to tell a story about my tia Gloria or my abuelita tia Gloria Solis, send me a message, reach out to me. YouTube allows me to send a link to you and your Gmail account. They will only accept Gmail accounts. And you can upload your video. So you can sit in your home any Saturday morning like I'm doing right now, but I'm doing it in my office building. And you can create a 5-minute video, a 20-minute video, a 30-minute video, and we'll upload it. So your contribution to this story, this love story, will be out there for the world, for your family members, for your children, grandchildren, etc., if you go down that road. And the point that I'm trying to make is that this is as vibrant as we make it. And I'm essentially the Lone Ranger on this, which is absolutely fine with me, but I'm not alone. I'm not alone because all of you have been willing to be interviewed. You've sent me documents, you've given me ideas. You've also helped me change the way I'm looking at this project. And it's a living project. It's a living project because when I took the video of Tio Neto, in this video he talks about this being seen by generations and generations. So he was cognizant of how the Solis story should be maintained and passed on. And I think the YouTube channel is the best way to do it, because if we have family members who are in the military and if they live far away, like Cindy and Fred, they lived in Alaska. Tio Pancho spent time in Japan, or maybe it was Tio Raul. They both were overseas, right? I want their ancestors, their kids, their grandkids to be able to look at these videos and say, that was my grandfather, this was my tío, etc. And if those individuals say, I also want to contribute a story that my grandfather told me about growing up in Mexico, about something that he or she saw, reach out to me. Again, I'm not here to be a gatekeeper. I'm here to produce this content on an ongoing basis before it's too late, because I'm sorry, but we all reach that point where God says, I'll call you back. Okay, I'm not going to read this entire letter because, number one, there's many words in here in Spanish that I don't know, and I'll probably botch it up, but I just wanted you to read the main parts here confirming our grandmother's birth in Mexico. And I keep wondering, what other stories are out there about the San Miguel family in Mexico? In the introductory story or post that I created yesterday, that will be the first one at the very top when this goes public on the 16th, which would be tomorrow at my father's 82nd birthday bash. I tell the story about being at the post office and meeting a man with license plates from Mexico, and it turns out he knows people from Candela, Mexico. He knows historians. He knows one family that's lived there for decades, right? And part of my goal is to be able to reach out to those individuals and say, tell us your stories. Tell us about life in Candela, Mexico. Where did they acquire certain customs? Were there conversos? That is where the Spanish who arrived in Candela, and I messed up on this one. Candela was founded by a very famous Spanish explorer, and I don't have that information with me here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the description box, and if I can find a picture of this explorer, I will do that. I believe Candela was founded in 1690 by the Spanish, and it was part of the Spanish trail that eventually ended up in Nueces, at the Nueces River, because many of these individuals, at least the ancestors of those Spanish explorers, ended up in Texas, and then they moved to Mission Espada because of so much fighting. Once again, there's stories out there, and they're nuggets of gold, and I'm here to find those little nuggets of gold to share them with you. Okay, so let's see. This document was created in 1963, and I'm gonna read this to the best of my ability. Okay, so please be patient with me, because I haven't read this in a while. I don't think I've ever read it completely on video, that's for sure. Al margen izquierdo 87, al centro, en Ciudad Romero Rubio, en 25 de agosto de 1993, a las 5 de la tarde, antes de juez del Estado Civil, Jacobo Martínez compareció José Estudio San Miguel. Okay, so this is where it gets good. What he is saying is that our grandmother's father, Eusebio San Miguel, so he went in front of the judge on the 25th of August to present documentation that his daughter, our grandmother, was born. Okay, so forgive me for stopping there, but I wanted to give some context. Casado, married, desde vecindad, y presentó vive una niña manifestado. Now, I just thought to myself, there's many people listening to this who may not know English. So what I'm going to do after this Spanish translation is I'm going to translate this into English to the best of my ability so you can understand it, because you may not know these challenging Spanish words. I know I'm struggling through this myself. Okay. Una niña manifestado que es la hija legítima, that's curious, suya, habida en su esposa Josefa San Miguel. Again, she's right here. Josefa San Miguel, consistent. Que nació en esta ciudad el día 23 del presente a las 3 de la tarde y puso el nombre Aurora San Miguel. Que sus abuelos partenos son José María San Miguel. José María San Miguel, those would be the paternal parents, grandparents. Y Petra González, here she is, Petra González. Los Martenos Sixto, San Miguel y María Agueda de Hoyos. Oh, how interesting, because a few moments ago I was struggling with that word Aguedita, but it turns out that the correct legal spelling was, let me find it for you here, my eyes, Agueda. It's Maria too. Maria Agueda de hoyos. Fascinating. And over here in the document, it's agüita. Adding the ITA is always a cute way. It's a cute thing that Mexicanos and Latinos do, right? It's like adding the Josefita. Instead of Josefa, Josefita, right? And I think that's what happened here, because maybe that's how they remembered her. That was her nickname. So I'm discovering this as we speak, right? El exponiente oyó leer esta acta y los testigos. Ok. Y conformo contigo en presencia de los testigos Feliz R. Sados y Antonio Sánchez Soltero Jornelos de este vecinal. Firma el juez que los que saben, Martínez Sánchez Rubicas. So it's signed and it's sealed. Let me go over this in English for you so you can also have the English translation of this. Thank you for your patience with me. I'm having coffee this morning and it's helping me get through this. Not that it's hard, but it's the morning hour. You get it. So in this document, which was created in 1963, it's my feeling that either Tio Pancho or Tia Beba or someone went back in 63 to do some family research, and that's how they were able to pull this document pertaining to our grandmother Solis. Okay, let me attempt to go over this in English, okay? In the city of Romero Rubio, on August 25th, 1903, at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in front of the judge Jacob Martinez